And my name is Sarah Brandow. I'm a student at Western Kentucky University taking the online MS-SLP course, and I just finished the class with AAC with Miss Hudson, and it was really informative. I learned a lot, and it was actually really enjoyable. So I wanted to chat with you all just real briefly about some things I kind of observed and have taken away from the class. In my own experience in working with someone who uses AAC on my job. I am a physical therapist assistant, and I work at several different places, one of them being a skilled nursing facility here in Colorado Springs. And there is a awesome guy there who is a resident. He is 53 years old, and he uses AAC to communicate. What happened to John was when he was really little, I want to say maybe like 8 years old or so, he had an incident where he took aspirin to fight off a fever because he had the flu, like his brothers had as well. So he was given aspirin to fight off the fever, and it ended up creating a reaction in his body, unfortunately, and it's called Reyes syndrome. And as a result from Reyes syndrome, his brain swelled and created some brain damage. So he has long-lasting effects from that. So it's kind of caused his muscles to become very spastic and kind of not really rigid, but just really tight. He doesn't have good movement of most of his joints. And I think we'll have to ask him in my interview with him later in this video, but I think he's had somewhere around like 30 surgeries to fuse his joints because his muscles pull so strong. They actually cause a lot of pain in his joints, unfortunately. So he's amazing, though. He's so upbeat and happy, and he jokes with everybody. And he's definitely one of my favorite patients to work with. So anyway, so because he has that problem with his muscles, he does have dysarthria. So I would say he has spastic dysarthria. He can't chew very well, so he has to take kind of small bites, and we have to modify how he eats. And obviously talking is really tough for him. So AAC is crucial for him to be able to communicate. And it's been a really interesting journey to see our SLP there at this skilled nursing place. Her name is Sam, short for Samantha, and she's hooked him up with a Tobii eyegaze tracker, and it has been so fun to see John work with this and learn it and be able to communicate a lot better with us all. And just a little side note, being in physical therapy, I'm a physical therapist assistant, it's important to be able to communicate with your patient, like if something's hurting or if they want to do something different, or just communicating about exercise alone, let alone just asking how they are and about their life. This AAC device makes it so much easier for everyone to interact with John. So I think in general the staff has been pretty welcoming to it. I think it's a little inconvenient to take the extra time and go find his AAC if he doesn't have it with him, and then ask him to type out his message. But I think people are starting to see the real value of it. I hope they are. And actually Sam was able to get it, Sam and the rehab team were able to get it mounted onto his motorized wheelchair. So now he has it with him all the time. So that should facilitate the staff using it and encouraging him to communicate with everybody. So like I said, he uses the Tobii eyegaze tracker, and it's been really pretty easy to set up. I think I've helped him recalibrate the eye gaze here and there, and it's very user-friendly. I'm not an SLP yet, and I can figure it out. So I would say it's pretty intuitive and not too difficult to learn, and I think John took to it pretty easy. He is 53, so he has a little life experience. I guess it might be harder for someone who's younger or maybe like a lot older. So he's in that age bracket where he probably learns it pretty quick. He does have a lot of pre-selected phrases and words on there, so I'll show you later in this video when I go interview him in person, just because I think it'd be more fun for you to see it versus me just telling you all about it here. He definitely has increased, I think, his quality of life as a result of the AAC. Just being able to communicate is so important. I told some of you this story about the banana. There was a morning I was helping him fill out his breakfast menu, and he didn't have his AAC with him. He didn't have his eye gaze tracker with him. and he wanted something. He was trying to tell me he wanted something for tomorrow's breakfast, and I couldn't figure out what he was saying, and other staff couldn't figure it out either, and poor John was trying to say this thing that he wanted, and I handed him a piece of paper. He indicated that he maybe could write it, so I handed him my pen and paper, which is also AAC, right? And he made the B and then an A, and then he started with the N, and I'm like, oh, you want a banana? And it was almost a tearful moment for us all, because it was just such a small thing, but it's such a big thing, like just to communicate that you want a banana with your oatmeal. So it does matter. Communication, even in the smallest, is huge for quality of life. So him being able to use his eye gaze tracker with so much ease and be able to type out long sentences is pretty big for his quality of life. He does use a keyboard when he wants to go on the internet or type an email or communicate via Facebook Messenger or whatever. So he does use his keyboard quite a bit, because he can use like a finger and just kind of hunt and peck on the keyboard and get his message out there and type what he needs to type. In fact, he's actually writing a book. So if you guys are interested, reach out to me. I'm not sure when it will be done, but he's actually writing a book. So that would be really awesome to read his story. I would say after taking this AAC course, I think it's super important that everyone who has a communication need be hooked up with an SLP who is comprehensive, and if they don't know, then they can find someone who is, and help them get the correct AAC device. And of course, maintenance and all that is a consideration, so having someone help them maintain it and make sure everything's working well. Really working with John, I feel like I've learned so much more about how communication impacts the individual, even small things like a banana. It's just, everyone should have access to AAC or a way to communicate. So I'm going to introduce you to John in this next half of the video. Thanks for watching. This is John, who I talked about in the first half of the video. So good to see you again, John. Hi. Is it okay if I videotape you for this project and put it on Facebook or wherever, YouTube? Is that okay? All right, awesome. Thank you for that. Because we want to see how you use your AAC. Okay. So you have a Tobii eye gaze tracker. And has that been pretty easy for you to learn? You think? Sometimes it's a little challenging, huh? Sometimes it's just easier to use the keyboard too. I'm gonna say sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's easy, right? Yeah. But sometimes it's a little bit harder. Yeah. Like if you're feeling tired. Hey, do that again.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy. Like, is it harder if you're tired?
Yeah.
And if you're tired, then you just kind of go to the keyboard probably? Yeah. So you're still kind of learning with the eye gaze tracker.
Yeah.
It'll get easier though.
It's in a new position.
Yeah, so you have to get used to it, for sure. Yeah. Would you say that this eye gaze tracker and maybe also the use of your keyboard too, do you think that's changed your quality of life at all? You were gonna say most definitely?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you went with yes. Basically, yes, for sure, it's changed. Yeah. Because being able to communicate is like so important, you know? Remember that day? Right? Remember that day you were like, I want something with breakfast, but I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And you were like, just give me your pen and your paper. And you started to write out banana. Because I'm so like you started to say like, oh, don't worry about it, but it is a big deal. You know, even like little things like a banana with your oatmeal. For sure. Okay, so I have a video going.
Okay.
So we have the keyboard and we have the option to delete the word, go backspace, or zoom to the next word, or zoom to the end of your sentence. Can we show them your phrases that you have set up? Nice. Look at you. That's awesome, John. I love your phrases that you have. So you like Star Wars, right? Yeah, and you obviously like OSU. For people who are watching this video who don't know you, you're a big Ohio State fan. You can see all the red in your closet over there. Yes, and actually you were earning your college degree, I think. You did it for like 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. And earlier in my video, I was talking about your surgeries, and you've had like 30 something? Here, you want to tell me on that?
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke. It doesn't matter. Let's just have a Jack and Coke. That's awesome. Gotcha. 31 surgeries. And that's been to mostly fuse your joints, I think, right? And well, also for your spine, I think, to straighten it out, because you had some scoliosis. The way that your muscles pull on the joints, they pull things out of alignment, I think. Yeah. So either they're fused or they had to put some plates and screws in to help them be correctly aligned. Yeah. You have a lot of metal in your body too, I think. Yeah. Right. Okay, what's it say?
I want 50% of the profits from this video.
Perfect, will do, I promise.